I hope I don't regret doing this.
Whee! What's up?
The Punten. How are you doing,
Yo,
buddy?
I'm good. I'm growing my mustache.
Yeah,
Bit more, I
it's
guess.
it's
Yeah.
it's coming out well. It's coming out well. Um,
Yeah.
so look, I've we're obviously referring to you as the Punten, but
Mm.
I do know you by a different name, so I'm probably gonna switch into that very soon. But you are also somewhat known as Ronny Pratama, Rons, as I knew from Jakarta.
Hmm.
Uh, Thank you for doing this, buddy. I really appreciate it.
No worries. No worries, dude. All
So
good. All good.
just to start with a bit of an intro. I mean,
Hmm.
people will probably see your bio and stuff below this video anyway, and on the promos and things like that. But so yeah, you are the Punten, Ronnie Pratama.
Hmm.
You're a graffiti artist. You're also a guy in the advertising industry, and you have been in the advertising industry for over 25 years now in Indonesia and Jakarta.
Hmm.
Um, while I think we're going to be tackling a lot of the stuff related to you being a graffiti artist, and because I think
Hmm.
that's an important part of the uh, building more story on the creative culture and different people and different lines
Hmm.
of creativity. But
Yep.
my primary audience is still obviously very advertising marketing based, so we will switch back
Yeah.
and forth a little bit, and we can do that freely, and it's going to go into a bit of
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
conversation about Indonesia, the ad
Okay.
culture there, the arts culture there, the art culture
Hmm.
there, new
Hmm.
generations of
Hmm.
creative people, artistic people, advertising industry, everything in between.
Hmm.
But
Yep.
since you are the Punten, we're going to start right as advertised. So first and foremost, the Punten, because it's very hard to call you the Punten. But let's start by, why are you called the Punten? What does the Punten mean? What does that mean?
Okay. The Punten means it's from Sundanese phrase. Sundanese because I'm half Betawi, which just came from Jakarta. That's my father's side, and my mom's side is Sunda. Sunda is western of Java. So the Punten means excuse me, like really polite. Because I feel that the day when I start drawing on the walls, you might say some people are being punk and everything else was like an, a new way of punk. Excuse me, can I draw on your wall? Okay, cool, thanks.
Oh,
So I
it's an
draw.
ironic, like, excuse me while I deface your wall type of thing, in a polite Indonesian way, I guess. Okay, I get you. I get you.
Yeah, and also it's the why I called myself the Punten is for me it's an expression of always study, not trying to be as higher ground as other people, but you kind of want to learn, you know, step by step towards the from different seniors that I had back in the days.
Right.
So it's kind of not polite way. See, it's kind of
Well, I think that's
yeah,
very much Indonesian culture, though, isn't it? Indonesian
yeah,
culture is very much built on it is hierarchical. It is very hierarchical.
correct.
Something that I noticed when I was working in Jakarta,
Mm,
there is a very definitive set of hierarchy and the way you show respect. It's a cultural thing. So I get it. So
yeah,
it's a marriage of a few different things. You're a bit of a
yeah,
rebel. You're trying to be a graffiti artist, but like, excuse me, can I do this on your wall? But also,
yeah.
it ties back to the culture. Okay, all right. That took me a lot. I never knew that. Okay, cool. That's nice. All right.
Yeah.
And okay, so before we go into it, just to be clear, those are your paintings behind you, because I know. So
So,
while your
mm,
medium started initially in graffiti form, it has
yeah,
obviously manifested into paintings, and you sketch on an iPad and this and that,
yeah,
things like
yeah.
that, right? So what are we looking at behind you before we keep going here? Because I can see there's quite a few weird. You're like a mushroom dream kind of a graffiti artist. So explain. So what are we seeing behind you?
So on my left here is Darbots and Snyder from German. Darbots is a graffiti artist from
Okay,
Indonesia, famous one.
yeah. I've heard of Darbots.
It's a
Yeah, he's pretty
yeah,
big in Jakarta. Sure,
yeah.
it's like
He's a good
you have
friend
an
of
original
mine.
Darbots at home. Cool, nice.
Yeah.
But let's talk about
So
your
that
stuff.
so this stuff is actually before I getting to know my cultural side, if you know what I mean.
Okay,
But it's still free flow, like you know, doing the more graffiti and pop art. And this is my latest paintings. It's more batik. It's more what I'm doing right now, And in my
can you pull it in?
yeah.
Can you bring
Oh,
no bring that painting to the camera? Let's just see that. I want to see that.
this one, huh?
Yeah. Bring
Okay,
it in.
cool.
Bring it in. So this is more of your new stuff.
Yeah, it's my new stuff. It has a bit more feeling, but it's also kind
It's
of
still a mushroom dream, bro. It's still a mushroom dream.
yeah. You still have a bit of a batik of my. We call it what do you call that? Hey, can you see me now?
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I can. No, you can put it back. You
Yeah,
can put it back. I just wanted to see. Okay, all right.
yeah. This one and this on my left is actually a helmet. This is actually a nice, really surprising story because it is actually from a competition of helmet design with Jaguar.
Okay.
So I did this, I did the design, and then I won the contest, and I went to Hong Kong for the first Formula E Asia
Okay.
competition.
Cool. All
Oh
right. Well,
yeah,
look,
so this is yeah,
you brought in Jaguar, which is, I think it's actually a nice way then to come back to the beginning of the birth of the Punten, because like I said
yeah,
earlier, while you are a graffiti artist, an artist, I don't think graffiti is necessarily how you would now define yourself as only, but
yeah,
that's where you would have started in the art
yep,
scene. But it also
hmm
came from your commercial background, or rather your advertising background. You mentioned
yep,
Jaguar, but it wasn't really Jaguar thing. It was, so I know you've been in this scene since about 2012, so about
yeah,
13-ish years.
yep,
So we talked about this. There's a nice story behind it. I will just set it up as saying, so this was 2012. You're working at Campaign Palace or Weinar or whatever version of that was at the time. Take it away. How did you launch into getting into art? As a, I think it's clear to understand that you're probably an art-based
mhm.
creative director. So
I
you
am.
would have been an
Thank you.
art director at the time. So how
Yeah.
does Ronnie turn into the Punten because of Campaign Palace?
Okay. At first, this is quite weird. I'm just looking at my portfolio again, and then there it was. So it started from the brief, right? From Y&R Global. We are asked to do an idea for everyone in this global Y&R thing, an idea that help people out. Do something in community. So me and the team is actually working on the not working on it. We kind of after the let's say office hour, we start talking about the ideas, right? So at first we came up with trash issue and everything, and my boss says,
Sorry,
that's not that
trash
okay.
issue as in city trash, like Jakarta trash problem. Okay, yeah, okay, sorry, yeah.
Yes,
Mhm.
it's not really catching up enough. It's not new. It's not fresh. So we try to dig more issue on that. And one night, I remember, again after hours, it's quite late. Me and my team were discussing on the streets of Jakarta. What else can we help? What else can we do? So one of us told us about the street buskers. So basically, in Jakarta, when you see on the street, there are so many kids, street kids, with their guitars and all. They didn't go to school. It's on like daytime and they just making money out of it, and they have this kind of agents, which is their parents or their brothers or their sisters, collecting the money. So we feel okay, why are they buskering around on the streets, not going to school? It's full time. So we can get into conversation, or we should do this, we should do that, bring the teacher on there, blah blah blah. But one of us, I think I remember that all of us like, aren't they on the streets? Aren't they on the streets, and behind them, walls of the street has so many graffiti, so many tagging. Sometimes it's just gang tag, sometimes it's negative words. What if you marry them to? what if we have a nice looking, intriguing, educational content, but in the form of graffiti. So we present the ideas, and my boss like it. Our after hours working is not being paid off. We're so happy to do it, and our boss, international boss, international ECD, I guess, global ECD, loved the idea so much. So hence we do it lah. So we connected to the. I'm sorry, it's just too much. It's too.
Oh shit! You have a face. All right, sorry. Yeah, keep going. Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, after that, we connected with some graffiti artists from around Java at
Mm,
first, from Bandung, from Yogyakarta, and also from around Jakarta as well. And we talk about this idea, and they love to help. So you know, we got sponsored by that, and we just draw. We didn't ask any what do you call that? Any permission from the city government. We just
mm,
draw. We just
mm.
paint the freaking walls like we have
But
so many walls to draw.
with positive messages that
Yeah, yeah.
was helping the community. Okay, all right.
Okay, so not just like let's go to school and build your dreams. Not like that. It's actually, let's say, mathematics. Who wants to learn mathematics? I mean, like, you see the numbers, kids goes like, oh shit, oh you. So we create color. We create characters in terms of graffiti or murals lah. And hopefully they like it, and we just kind of want them to, oh, cool. So school can be this fun. You know what I'm saying? So it's not just, let's go to school, build dreams. No, it's just too passive. People want to interact with that. So after that, we have so many walls. We take a picture out of it, and then we create books. So we have the books, and we work together with the NGO in Jakarta, which work with Swift Kids. So it's full circle lah.
Mm,
So we have the hype, we have the art, we have the goodwill, we have um, the movement that means a lot to people.
mm.
So it's great. And one of the
Yeah.
walls, one of the walls. That's why I'm freaking like, damn it. I want to be those guys. Just do whatever they like, just express themselves. So one of my friends, which is my kind of my teacher, so to say, he said, "You can draw, right? Yeah, in pencils and computers. Here, cans. Have a go." I was like, "Dude, this is for my project, right? You know that?
Sorry, do you say
Yeah, just do it.
cans, like
Yeah, yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Got you. Yeah, yeah. Okay.
The spray cans. So my first line, like, okay, just do the stuff and all like that. And as a teacher, like, your line look like shit. So he, what do you call that? Revised some lines so it looks nicer. And then he said to me, okay, this is finished. Yeah. Okay. So what's your name? Ron? No, you have to have the street names, right? So I came up with, I think, man, I only have 15 minutes. 15 minutes just to come up with my names on the street. So hence the name the Punten came out. So he asked me why. The Punten sounds so lame. No, man. I think this who represent who I am, and I think this is my milestone.
Okay.
That's it.
I think that there's a lot in there, and I think it kind of informs a little bit about
Hmm.
because I didn't know the origin story of the crazy artist. But it sounds like it started from a good place because you were
Hmm.
in a creative environment and you were looking for a creative solution to a problem that is very prevalent in Indonesia. So
Yeah.
personally, I mean, I like simply judging by that one psychedelic thing behind you. I don't see that stuff coming through, but I do know because I've talked to you before about this.
Hmm.
Um, it's almost like you mentioned the word full circle. I think there's something about what we're going to be talking about on
Hmm.
where your interest and where your passion lies, and it
Yeah.
almost comes full circle from where you would have started when you were birthed as that artist. So let's slowly get into that. I
Okay.
know um, there's this thing that you said that the more you've been doing this, the more you've been thinking about Indonesia
Yes.
and
Sure.
understanding the culture and everything else. Let's talk about that because yeah, that was kind
Hmm.
of fun, and it was an accidental thing that you fell into and it's become part of your identity. But now let's talk about the guy with two adult kids and all of this, and you're adulting now in some ways, and you started looking at Indonesia. You started looking at your
Yeah.
art and what it represents from cultural impact and understanding the history of
Mm,
Indonesia.
mm,
And I know, as much as you've been as silly as you have been for this first 10 minutes, uh, I've I've had this honest conversation with you, and I think there is something very sincere and serious about this. And so,
mm.
if you can muster up a few minutes of just being serious about what your purpose is, I think that's something that'd be very helpful, because I think we all need to hear more about this.
Okay. Okay. Not basically, but generally, yeah. In general terms, I would love to have our identity. Indonesia has so many culture, as you know. I mean, you've been to Bali, right? You've been to Jakarta. I'm from Sundanese. It has some Sumatra and everywhere Kalimantan. They have so many identity. They have so many what do you call that? Artwork, visuals, saying, music. It's so rich, and I believe, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Look, I think, not to. I don't want to interrupt you, but it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
so that people who are not from Indonesia can understand.
Hmm.
Indonesia has 280 million people, but
Yes,
it's a country of three time zones, built out of
yeah,
thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of islands. And
yes,
each of
correct.
these islands, everyone across these three time zones, you can take the map of Indonesia and you can put it over the United States of America, and it goes from west coast to east coast. It's like it's that wide.
Yeah.
And so you can imagine, but the difference is it's not one landlocked piece of land. So it's
Mm.
inevitable that you have so many different languages and cultures, and like you said, the dances and art and da, da, da.
Yeah, the
So
music. Yeah.
just to give context, but sorry, keep going, keep
Mm.
going. I just think it's important for people to understand, it's mind-blowing how big Indonesia actually is.
Mm. And also, yeah, I'm like having those, we always came back into one Indonesia. You're my friends from Kalimantan, I'm from Jakarta, but we still talk about Indonesia as a whole. So what I'm trying to say is we have so many identities, right? And I believe if we make those identities, visual art, whatever that is, into something exciting, something, what do you call that? Um, Mixed pop culture, let's say pop culture and batik. You can have so many different kind of exploration. You see, but you can still see, oh, this is batik from Jogja, but it's kind of weird. You see, why am I trying to say about that? So the conversation that we over generation, over generation will still continues. So it's not just another, oh, Indonesia's culture is kind of boring. No, it's there, like you said, thousand of them, just waiting for you to dig, just waiting for you to play with. And I believe Indonesia is actually a melting pot from different kind of cultural from the world. Yeah, we have India, we have China. You see, the batik that I'm working with right now is called Megamendung. Megamendung is like the cloud, right, from Sundanese batik.
Yeah, I like that one.
But
That's close.
yeah,
That's the one I think is closest to the Maori one that I like. Yeah.
yeah, I
Yeah,
haven't
yeah,
thought
yeah. That's
about
very nice. That's very
it.
nice. Yeah, it's very cool. Sorry, keep going.
Actually,
Yeah, yeah.
it's kind of from driven from Chinese culture. The Chinese came like the merchant from China land came to Java, and we start like mingle with each other, and there you go. You have a different kind of cloud from Java, but actually from different kind of continent. So you see,
Mm.
it's the beautifulness of Indonesia, and I think they are open to all cultures and try to make it their own, like language. You see, yes, we have the base from Melayu, but we actually grew with Arabs, with English, with Dutch, with some Chinese. Like
Mm.
Lugwe is not Malay at all. It's actually it's from China. is from how we actually collaborate with Chinese culture. So one that's the beauty of it. So yeah, I wish the our identity is what do you call that, is being hold up high by us, by Indonesian,
Sorry,
you know.
it's being held up high or not held up high enough. Which one do you mean?
I mean, high, not high enough. Why? We need to be more consistent. Not consistency. Most of us need to be more, what do you call it, spread the news lah, in terms of art, in terms of whatever, in terms of Indonesia. We do have some young generation who actually already work on that. But I think we could have more, you know. We have rap and mixed with Japanese music.
Sure.
We have the Sundanese. I think this is my. I'm sorry, but I have to mention the name though. The band that I really like right now is from Netherlands, but actually they are Indonesian descendant, and their music is psychedelic with West Java um, music lah, or melody. They call their name is Nusantara Beat. Nusantara Beat.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I've heard of
Yeah.
them.
So I
Yeah,
was like, wow, not the fire, the fun is getting there. The passion of of uh proud of being Indonesian, being in part of Indonesia, and try to show the our skin to the world is it's there already. We just need another. Apa namanya? We just need to be more consistent. And you see, you heard me talking about apa namanya. I know the line that you really hate the most when I was working with you. And this dude, he said, "Okay, Ronnie, after one apa namanya 5,000." Okay.
yeah. I yeah. So for yeah, thanks for revealing that. So when Ron was my team member, he used to use that. So apanemania is like a filler word. Like I can't remember. It's one of those, but it's a apanemania. So I was like, man, you use that so much, you're not allowed to use that filler word anymore. It's like equivalent of like a California, like sorry, what do Californian girls go? They go like oh,
Yeah.
so I was like, your apanamania is like 5,000 rupiah like a penalty every time you use it. It was that bad. Sorry. Look,
It's okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
So apanamania aside, um here's what I would
Yeah.
say. Look, everything you just said about
Mm,
how Indonesia should be, pushing their culture through different art forms, whether it's music, whether it's
mm,
art itself, whether it's embracing the different nuanced cultures across the different islands. Every nation can say that. I think the thing I would like to talk to you specifically about, because this is a thing that you've taken on personally, is
mm,
I I I find it amazing. I've lived in Indonesia, albeit I live on a different island than Java
mm,
right now, but I find it really amazing that a nation of 280 million people, um, they don't have the same kind of the fifth biggest population in the world.
mm,
And like we've just discussed openly, which means there's rich pockets of culture in all these different islands, and because they're all
yes.
separated by water, they have had time to each one of them develop their own. It's not a it doesn't necessarily have to be mixed. They've grown up in their own silos, and so they've developed their own language, not just in a literal sense, but language and art form, language and culture, language and food, language and everything. I'm surprised. My question is, as much as all nations wish they
Mm,
should do that and spread out to the world, why is a nation of 280 million people, besides those water borders between the islands, even though it's the same nation,
mm.
why isn't it getting as much attention on a global scale?
I think we're, I don't know, how do I say this, yeah? Um, I think we're not confident enough to show that the colors of us. And somehow we talk about markets, I guess. Not really. Well, within us, we sort of like afraid that if we do some work from our culture, it's kind of like, yeah, we're a bit of, not a bit of a shame, what you call it, there, not confident enough, and we feel that what we show them, we're kind of like, maybe it's there, it's too old, it's too traditional, and we're stuck in that kind of circles. I believe the word, I can't say apologetic. It's just that we kind of not confident enough to show our colors, the true colors of us, you know. So we tend to mm, we we tend to absorb the other more popular, you know,
Mm,
subject. Then we just another copying,
mm.
not copying. See, driven from there, you know. It's
Do
okay, you know, but
you,
to me, why? I mean, like, there's so many things that you can actually combine with. Gitu.
You're and I think you're not just speaking from an art community point of
No.
view. You're just talking about as a nation in general, right?
Mm, mm,
And one of the things, one of the most unique things. So I've lived in Southeast Asia now since 2006. I came out here
yeah.
a long, long time ago, but until moving to Indonesia, I had never actually been to a nation that was colonized by the Dutch. I've always been staying in places which have been,
Mm,
and even working with places that have been colonized by the Brits.
yeah.
And having spent a little bit of time looking into the history on how things have transpired over the
Mm,
couple of centuries, the way
mm,
the Dutch introduced, or the way the Dutch ruled Indonesia was a lot different than how the Brits have sort of done it throughout their
mm,
empire. And the
mm,
one thing, and you reminded me because of what you just said about it's not quite apologetic, but it's not, maybe it's the confidence thing. I wonder if it's because the way the Dutch kind of pressed themselves into Indonesia, it didn't give them enough of a voice, in
mm,
the sense where, like, let's say the British Empire went to India.
mm,
They went to India, and but they taught them English, and they assimilated better, and then when they've gone
mm,
back, the Indian diaspora kind of also followed them,
mm.
and it has been very much like that with most of the British Empire conquest nations. Indonesia is a little bit different, right? The
Yep.
Dutch kept themselves quite separate
Mm,
from Indonesians. Do
mm,
you think, because you've told me you're a bit of a, you are looking at life in Indonesia. Once you're looking at the cultural aspects of a nation that needs to do more, you start looking at the history pre-independence, and you look into
yeah.
the Dutch,
Mm,
when the Dutch were ruling over Indonesia. How much of that
yeah.
do you think has crippled this uh, um, this natural feeling of let's fucking go out, let's show them who we are? Do you think that's part of it?
Well, that's a lot. See. Yeah, I think. Okay, if I can talk freely, I mean, I'm still studying. Yeah, see, don't get me wrong.
I'm not
I'm
a
a human
historian
of.
either. I'm throwing it out. We're
Yeah,
having we're having a debate. This is not like an expert versus expert. So go on. Yeah,
right. So okay, Indonesia before it was colonized by the Dutch or being entered by the Portuguese, right?
I'm gonna
So
smoke
we
too. Yeah,
just
go on. Yeah, go on.
smoke like you Adam. All right. So we have like before that you said about we have so many island that being like, separated by waters, right? Until 1928, where we actually says that we are one. You know, the Sumpah Pemuda, the youth thingy. Now, before that, we kind of got into different period. The before the Dutch, we still have the kingdoms, right, with separate, different kind of identity. Yeah, in Java itself, there are I think there are three big kingdoms. Okay, most of them are influenced by different kind of cultures. And back in the days, it was Buddhist and also Hinduism. Yeah, so Sumatra is more Buddha, and over here is more Hindu in Java. Kalimantan, I think, is Hindu as well. It's one of the oldest, what do you call that? Kingdom of Hinduism. And then those things, there are changes, right? Before this is one before the Dutch comes in.
Before the Dutch. Okay, yeah, go on.
Yeah. So there are changes of culture, cultural influences. So Islam comes in through what do you call it? Not war, but more towards businesses. So the culture itself changed from Hindu to more Muslims, more Arab, and then Buddhist also gone from Buddhist to Hindu, and then more Muslim, right? So within that, the culture, every culture that comes in, it has their own way of doing things. One of them is actually filterize the old culture, what fit to their objective. It is not wrong, but it is what it is. In terms of that, what I read is actually Indonesia has different castes. In India you have caste, right? The highest one is actually the warrior,
I
and
don't know
one
the
of
cast,
them
but
is
I just know there's one called the Untouchables. That's the one. I mean, I know there's different casts. Yeah,
yeah. So we have this called the what do you call that? The one who learns, the one who hold the knowledge. Yeah. So that between the era of Islam and then come into the what do you call it? The influence of Europe, they were slight. They're what do you call it? Silence. Silence periodically. So they don't have anyone who can read the lontar. The lontar is actually the script, the old script that actually talk about the history, and we don't have people who can read that anymore. In Bali, on the other hand, they still have the one who can read. Okay, that's one. When it comes to the Dutch, it's more about business. It's more about trading. Yeah, the spices and all. So things got out of hand. So when they fully occupied us, all of our historical kind of apa namanya? The I just break the so because it's so funny. Um, the traces of history, they
started getting
take it
lost. They
away.
started hiding it away or pushing it aside.
No, no, they take it away.
They
They
take it
took it
away.
away.
Right.
So if you want to learn about Indonesia itself, culture from the west to the east, all of them mostly are in Dutch until today.
Mm. So
So
look,
that's why we
yeah,
lost.
I
Mm.
didn't want to bring up colonialism for the sake of,
Nah,
especially in a conversation
yeah,
that's
yeah, yeah,
related
yeah,
to creativity, and I was
yeah.
just pointing out. Look, I get it. Like that's one of the reasons I was really interested in talking about it. Like you said,
Mm,
you have the passion for trying to push the movement of art using the culture of Indonesia, not just borrowed or following others. The thing you said earlier. So
yeah.
I guess I was just curious that I
Mm,
wonder how much of it came from oppression of the colonialism and how much of it was because you guys are literally geographically so separated by bodies of water that it's got to be hard.
mm,
So I was just
it
trying to
is.
connect those dots. So now, okay,
Mm.
that aside, we're not historians. This is not about history.
I'm still
I'm
learning. I'm student.
cool, and I live here, so I try to learn as much as I can. To
Mm,
bring it back to art, and I think we should eventually get back into advertising anyway. And I think there is a
mm-hmm,
nice through line between how we finish this topic. What do you
mm-hmm.
think? So you've mentioned what you would like to happen. How do you see it happening? How do you actually do it? About bridging all these Indonesian identities into art forms, whether it be music, whether it be art itself, whether it be graffiti, whether it be anything. Like one is a
Mm.
wish, and the other one is what do we do about it?
What I okay. I would no. I'm doing what I'm doing right now. Yeah. Both in advertising. we work with insights, right? So it's the truth of the culture, right? In art, I would say the same because insight, not insights, more about the culture itself. I'm trying to get myself continuously share about the art form, what I'm doing, what it is based on, and what it means. And in the future, not in the future, in the future we need to share more about the excitement, having our own identity as playful and as relevant. Relevant is more the important thing, so it could go generations, you know. So that's what I'm going to do. I want to share and excite people, how Indonesian culture can be exciting for us as Indonesian.
I
Then
get
share
it.
to the world. Yeah,
It's important. I mean, for a guy like me who's lived 13 years in a different part of Southeast Asia and had never,
yeah,
I mean, I had visited Indonesia for holidays and stuff, but since living here, I've realized how deep and nuanced and rich the
mm,
culture is. That yeah, it does really surprise me. I mean, yeah, look, there's artists. I mean,
mm,
there's all sorts of people who are doing it. I guess, I just wonder why did I, while living 1.5 hour flight away from
mm,
here, from this country for 13 years, didn't see any of that, even though I was a hop, skip, and a jump away from Indonesia. You know, we knew the words batik,
yeah,
we knew the cuisine, rendang, and all of this, but that was it.
mm,
It was very superficial kind of stuff. And then when you come here, you get to see that there's some really interesting things going on. And from an art point of view, I mean, you know, I joke and make fun of your psychedelic shit, but I can see that certainly in your later form, like the painting that you brought in front of the screen,
mm,
you are bringing in some of the cultures into that. And
mm,
to the naked eye, if you don't know anything about Indonesian culture, you won't know it. But I guess that's kind of part of the thing. Like if you appreciate art, you will start understanding that oh,
mm,
the Punten is putting in Sunda stuff in there, you know,
mm,
etc., etc. Like your tattoos have a certain kind of language, and
mm,
to the naked eye, it just looks like another tribal tattoo, but it is part of. I think it was your grandfather's town or
yeah,
something. I remember you told me, I just think that's so bloody cool, you know. And I wish more of us did that. Now, to not bore enough people that it's not a history lesson, to bring it back to advertising, but I think there is a very direct line from what we've just spent the last 15, 20
mm,
minutes talking about.
yep.
What about the identity of Indonesian advertising? Because
Shit.
at the end of the day, um, I wonder how much of all of this is connected. Like you are a person with 25 years experience, and you've already started going, you know what, I need to scale back the way I'm doing my art and put my culture into it. But then I look at
Yeah.
Indonesian advertising. There is a language. There is a language,
Yes, yes.
but I don't know if there's ownership of a style. Japanese advertising has a style. Thai advertising
Mm,
has a style. Uh, Indian
yeah.
advertising has a style. I don't know much about Chinese advertising. I think that's also one of those things that is very
Mm,
westernized
mm.
and copying people. But you know, they all have a style. Talk about Indonesian advertising. Let's get back to advertising.
All
Let's
right.
talk about creativity.
Okay. So back in the days, shit, when advertising, I think it's 2001, right? When the 50 Suck become hits, the Thai ads become hits. So we in a nation is still stuck in something more polite, something more generic, you know. Then we and that's how I think how the brand owners used to, you know, nice face, no characters, pretty, and the ideas is very straightforward, you know. But during the times, um, this is my opinion, it's here. During the time, I think we see the similarity of us and our neighbor, which is Thai. We like to have a joke. We like to see some funny stuff that relevant to us. But again, as a creative person, as a creative industry, we still need to stick with insight, right? Now, like you said before, you've been here, you live here, then you know how we actually act, how we actually, respect our culture, how we actually have food with different kind of spices. I think Indonesia is starting to go there. I think I remember to 1990, no, 1998 or 2000, this brand called Sastro, if you know, tea, Teh Sastro. It's a very legendary bottle tea, right? So they have this ad using wayang. I remember this because I really love it so much. Because the line says, whatever you eat, the drink teh botol. That's the brand. So you have the story of I think the Eater of the Sun in wayang kind of traditional things, traditional style, and then eat that, and he was choked up if I remember, and then he this giant hands just took this drink from the warung and then drink it. Everything done in a traditional yet beautiful Japanese wayang style. It's so beautiful. That's why I still remember till now. And then I think the 2000 and something later in the days, they have this a very cool director. I think Dimas Jadiningrat, if you remember. I don't think you know him. I know him quite well, and he has this idea. His execution style and ideas and the script. He did this. What do you call that? Apa namanya? That's three times, right? A joke parody of Rama and Sinta, using this kind of crown and everything, but suddenly all this old school, not the traditional thing, they have cell phone on it. Like we're like, what the fuck? So if you ask me the identity, I think they like the thing is it has to be funny. It has to have an emotion kind of thing. But then again, he how to put in the Indonesian context into it. We call it hyper local right now.
Mm. So look,
Mm,
I I appreciate when a local ad can bring in the culture of the place into an ad if it's done in the right way
yeah.
and it's relevant. That's great.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
necessarily
Yes.
mean that is the identity of Indonesian advertising, and I'll tell you what I mean. Like, um,
Mm,
if I showed you a Thai ad with sound or without sound, you will
yeah.
get it, and it doesn't need to have anything Thai cultural or historical in it.
Mm,
Identity of advertising creativity is not just about injecting your culture into it, it's about creating your own version of style. So style
mm,
and culture are not necessarily the same thing. I appreciate when you can do that, but that's
mm,
not what I mean.
mm,
So like in Japanese ads, also I can play without sound and you will know that where it's come from. They have a style that they own and they're unapologetic about, and that's what makes it great. Indonesian ads, you're right. I don't see. I mean, you mentioned that historical, that drink thing, that
mm,
the tea thing, the soft drink tea thing. That's great, and I think that's if done well from a crafting point of view, that's fantastic. And I think a lot of that should come back. I think we've almost lost a little bit of that.
mm,
I
mm.
don't know if that's necessarily what Indonesian style is. So I guess
Yeah.
I would ask again about what do you think Indonesian style is or should be or it isn't, and why isn't it, and what should we be doing about it? His bringing in
Mm,
historical culture is great, but that's not necessarily a style. When you say humor, I can tell you Malaysia uses humor. I can tell you Singapore uses humor. I can tell you Thailand uses humor. I can tell you Japan uses humor. I can tell you Philippines uses humor. Humor isn't
mm,
the thing. Your
mm,
identity cannot be humor plus culture. In my opinion,
mm,
you can disagree with me, but I think on top of all these places who have humor, let's say, as a primary tonality to what makes good entertaining advertising,
mm,
they still have their own oomph. What is
mm.
Indonesia's oomph? Is there an oomph? Why is there not an oomph if there isn't there? And how do you deal with that?
Well, mm, like I said before we get into the advertising, yeah, Indonesia is actually accepting, different culture from the outside. You know what I'm saying? Like I explained it to you before. So if you ask me what kind of style, I guess again, it depends on the brief. To me, yeah. Hence, the Japanese have their own style. Hence, the Thai without sound, you see, okay, this is apa namanya? Apa namanya lagi? I guess apa namanya should be the style of Indonesia, no?
I think by the end of this podcast, people will understand why I should charge you money for saying that. It got really, really annoying. But go
You
on.
and you and Pak didn't hate me so much because I'm saying that.
All right,
Okay,
go on. Go on.
I think Indonesian, for me, as the again, like any advertising person would do, is just looking at the brief and what the objective that you really want to achieve, right? In terms of style, Indonesian, for me, again, needs to be relevant to those who actually see. If you talk about Japanese style, it's the style is actually zoom in the over exaggerating, the the big answer, like the packaging is so big, the bold colors. That's Japanese. Indonesia, I think we just need, for me, the most important thing is use use the insight and the culture so it can be relevant to the audience. The style for Indonesia, because we are so again and open the whatever we see, what we get from outside of us. I think that's the beauty of it. You know, hence we don't have any identity towards the international advertising kind of a scene. But for me, it's okay. For me, it's okay. Style, in terms of style, if you said Japanese has this kind of style and everything, the only thing that we can actually be Indonesian is inject the mm, visually cultural Indonesia. But that's again, it's not as important as the idea itself. You see, to me.
I mean, of course, I'm going to agree with you. The idea is the most important thing, and
Yeah.
while you were saying it, I was thinking about it because you were trying to define what style was, uh,
Mm,
and I think I said humor is everywhere, blah, blah, blah. I was starting to think. I think the biggest difference is one of the things you mentioned is I like the fact that we are open to getting, hearing, seeing how other people are doing it, and we kind of work with it and adopt it. I think what I'm trying to say to you is what I think is Thailand style, what I think is Japan style, is that they don't give a shit that you see it outside
exactly.
Thailand. They don't give a
Exactly.
shit that you're seeing it outside Japan. We're doing this for
Yeah.
ourselves. So if once you're doing it for yourself, the ideas that come out are more pure. You can stop concentrating on trying to be like a ad out of London. You can
Mm,
stop being an ad out of Brazil. You just make an ad for yourself. And
mm,
if you foster a culture where you are creating ads for yourself instead of going, oh, we use a reference from something in Sweden, we use the reference of something in North America. Once you stop doing that,
yeah.
naturally good stuff is going to come out. It's inevitable. And
Yeah.
that's the one thing I disagree with you, which is when you said
Mm,
I'm happy. I think it's good that we look at others. There's nothing wrong with looking. If you look at an ad from Australia, it feels very Aussie. If you look at an ad from New Zealand, it
yeah.
feels very well. Aussie, New Zealand kind of had the similar kind of tone,
Same.
But but it's them. They don't give a shit. They're not trying to be Super Bowl ad. Let the
Mm,
Super
mm.
Bowl motherfuckers do Super Bowl ads.
Yeah.
Aussie ads are going to look like an Aussie ad. Japanese ads are going to look like a Japanese ad. I disagree with you that
Yeah.
it's
Mm,
good that we look at everyone should look at everybody's ads. I look at Super Bowl ads. I look at this ad. I look at all that ad, but it doesn't stop me from knowing this is where we are, and this is the audience we're
mm,
speaking to, and this is what we need to get out as far as ideas are concerned. If we keep chasing the way ideas are done in
mm.
other countries just because it's been someone has labeled it successful, or this is what creativity is, that's when you stop having your own identity of Indonesian advertising. And all of this
Mm,
is in the big context of how can 200 how can an ad industry that services 280 million people miss that trick compared to 50
mm.
million in Thailand, compared to 40 million in Malaysia, 5 million in Singapore. I don't know. I
Okay.
think maybe 80, 100 million in Japan. I don't know the exact population, but they're
Mm,
like less than half the size, and they stopped giving a shit. But a country of this
mm.
size should stop giving a shit even more, but they don't. Do you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
it gets to the point where you're China. It's like U.S. Screw you. I'm a billion people. I'll do what the hell I want, and that's the way China operates.
Yep.
It gets to the point
True.
where you're so big, you do your own thing, and you
Mm.
will find a way.
Yeah,
But
man.
how can a
That's what.
country that big not have the same attitude?
Whew.
Hey, I didn't call you just to see your pretty face.
No, man. Oh, really? Okay, I'll put it in again. Just kidding, dude. Like, apa ya? I don't know. Okay, Aussie very
I
Aussie.
invited you because
Mm,
you were saying some really cool things about
mm,
how my art has now become more deeper. It's not just surface level, it's looking at cultural and things like that. But
mm,
this is also an advertising conversation, so I thought let's do both of them.
mm.
Let's talk about art, but then I think this is a topic that is sorely not talked about enough. I think that Indonesian advertising scene is struggling and failing, and they're becoming copycats, and everything's looking the same, and it's horrible. I don't
Okay.
care. I'll say it.
No, I mean, for me, as an ad man, working on this industry, it's hard, because
Is it ever easy? Is good creative ever
no,
easy?
no
So
lah.
what's the
That's
excuse
why
for?
no lah. That's why we stay this young. You see, it's hard, but we don't care. Okay, if you want to have this things go on air, so yeah. But my shit is good. My shit is in Indonesian, you know. Every single I believe, yeah, every single people in advertising of Indonesia always try to do their version of the culture, you know. Of course, we have to talk about the brief. The brief like this, okay, let's who we are, a brand try to sell, a brand try to get into the mind of Indonesia. Hence, we need to talk about the culture, one of them. Am I right? Hence the Australian, like you said, they have the, short shorts, or they talk loud, they become like the mullet and stuff.
The mullets and youths, and yeah, sure.
Yeah, it's actually they said to them like, hey, your brand from America try to talk to us. Let's talk about more Australian. You know, your brand from America, your brand from Indonesia, your brand from China, but you still advertise in Australia. Hence, you need to be like Australian. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
So that's how that's how not hard here. That's what we're trying to do over and over again. Some some of us actually got through. Some of us got 20% of it got through. Some of us burned, but still doing it anyway. So it's the understanding of the whole nation. It's not just us. It's not just our industry. You know, because we like to be not who we are.
That's sad.
We are, yeah, we are kind of not ashamed. Like, remember what I said before about the batik and things? Because batik tends to be portrayed as apa ya, old school, what do you call that? A father's kind of thing. It's just too traditional. So I think that's a start. You know, when you're not proud of who we are and what we have, all of us, yeah, not just the industry, we're just the same. You know, we're not copying. What we're not. The ideas is original, but it's not showing who we are as a nation, as a culture. That's a bit. That's what I'm trying to do every single time. That's what I try. It's
Mm.
hard, I know. Um, as an artist, as an admin, it's very hard. But when you score that idea, it feels like, damn, I just have throat thing, ejaculation.
We're gonna have to put an R rating on this one.
Okay,
Yeah,
bukake on the fucking screen. Oh yeah, things like that.
yeah.
So
This video will have
it's
R rating. Yeah. Okay.
so okay. So Z, I mean, like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, and for us, don't get me wrong, we try. We actually want to get that not just an idea, that identity of Indonesia comes true, but it takes the nation to understand. It takes the nation, and with all the history, with all that, it shouldn't stop there. We still keep going. That's what I'm trying, what I do, every single day.
Mm.
Gitu. But again,
Let,
um, hmm,
let's try to come to the end of this with a. I don't think it's a short topic, but it I think should be the
no,
the last topic. Maybe we build up on, which should end up about talking about the new generation of people in our industry.
hmm,
But let's start with, we talked about trying and getting an ID through it, working hard and fighting for it, stuff like that. Let's talk about Jakarta
hmm,
market. Jakarta market, even though Jakarta is only one,
hmm.
it is the biggest city. It's the capital city for now
Yeah.
before it moves, but it is still the center of commerce, and where all the big ad
Hmm.
agencies or the challenger small agencies are as well. But that's what the
Yeah.
main stronghold of ad agencies are, which is Jakarta. What
Yeah.
is it like based on everything we've been talking about, the
Hmm.
things that I've mentioned, which I feel, it's some shortcomings there, and I think we should be pushing more. You guys should be pushing more. I haven't worked in Jakarta for about 5 years now.
Yeah.
What's the climate like in advertising in Jakarta, both from agencies side and the clients who are trying to get work out there? What's like from a creative standpoint? How is the climate now in this new era of advertising post COVID?
Who post COVID? Hmm. I mean, Jakarta as a center, like you said before, where the businesses and the brands are here most of all. Yeah, it's the industry's getting full and dense and busy and trying to get their voice out there, and
I
it
think maybe
changed,
maybe
right?
maybe not so much about, maybe not so about what the status of
Mm,
business is in advertising in Jakarta. I mean what it's like to get out creative work in the last 5 years. Is it getting better? Is it getting harder? Is it more challenging? Are clients more
mm,
supportive, less supportive? I don't. Let's not get into the economics of
mm.
we're all going through a downturn and unemployment
Yeah,
and
yeah,
hard to
yeah,
find
yeah.
jobs. Let's not get into that. I mean, I'm
Mm,
talking to an artist, a creative guy who's been doing this for 25 plus years.
yeah, yeah.
What's the climate now in Jakarta market in creating work that's worthy of saying, "Look at us, we are still producing fantastic creative work." Where is that? How is that going?
Challenging. One word is challenging.
All right, goodbye.
If
See ya.
you
Gotta go.
no, I think the good thing about, okay, the bad thing or good thing, yeah. Like I said before, everybody try to get the voice out, all the brands, and Jakarta is very very busy and very, because it's the center of everything. You know what I'm saying? Um, then again, in Jakarta is one of the best place as an industry in advertising to push forward, because we are very resourceful. That's one. Second one, we are closer to the clients. You know, if we are talking about outside lah. working in Indonesia. And I think the client also, because of the changing, remember the changing of the trends, right? From the ATL, BTL now to digital, now to spread of the channels. It's 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 getting tougher for us because the client also try to get the grasp of everything, you know. So they're okay. They want to, because there's different channel in the media right now, in on, not even in digital or outside, and we have growing markets but smaller pie for us, as in money. And also don't forget that they have Me Too products of all, each categories. So imagine the the what do you call that, the toughness there, the challenge there, and the clients for me, because it's too hectic, the market for them, they're sometimes they to for us to take it like, why you so being so pushy, why does it have to be so apa namanya, so apa namanya lagi, so so deadline,
25,000
so
rupiah so far.
okay, why so tight, why the deadline so tight, why so tight, and why do you want, what else do you want more for us? It's because the density of the market itself, yeah. But us as a creative, because we like the challenge, we care. The moment that we got the brand to us, the moment we win the pitch, we want to have this, we want to have that, we want to, I think this is the right thing to do. But of course, we are who we are. We know the bad stuff, the good stuff. Sometimes, it is sometimes because of the situation, clients not sure what happened to us. We care so much. We love the baby so much. We want to make the brand stands out, by our work, the best work we can get, we can give to them. So yeah, hence the many hours, the long hours, the deadline is so fast because of that. To me,
So, so look, that's the reason I had to bring it up. I mean, we're all
mm,
we spend so much time talking about how, starting from a cultural point of view, arts point of view, having
mm,
your own identity, and then advertising and how it can have its own identity,
mm,
and then bringing it back to the real dollars and cents conversation of, but what is the market in front of you? So that's
yeah,
I want to bring it back to that, because it's always nice to want to do good creative work. This is the
yeah, man.
business we're in.
Mm, mm-hmm. True.
But then, if your market, and when I say market, I mean clients plus agencies,
Mm, mm,
are not in a position to provide that freedom, it's no wonder you want to be identified as an artist more so than a creative person these days. It almost feels like being a creative, and this is just, I'm just saying this, you can disagree. It feels
yeah.
like the Punten or Ronnie Pratama is is an artist because that's the
Mm,
way he's getting the joy from doing an art form, a form of creativity, and everything else is kind of, let's, we need to work, we need to survive, we need to pay the bills, and
yeah.
we'll push. But if the market pushes us back, there's only so much we can do in order to create that
Mm, mm,
change.
mm,
And I deliberately left this conversation to the end because I just wanted to remind you, you became the Punten, because you're solving a creative problem in an ad agency.
damn. Yeah.
If you weren't, not necessarily pushing back, but if you didn't find yourself in a situation where you were trying to solve a problem creatively, and what came out of it is what gave birth to the person who has become this person today, it's because
mm,
creativity has been your pilot. That's what got you to this point. And
mm,
when you look at what the markets are doing, what the markets are saying, what people and clients are reacting to it, I just want, I hope the Jakarta, the Indonesian ad agency market, the new generation of people, they will see this video to see that there was a time where that led someone to push their creativity and express their creativity, and it doesn't mean that that has ended now just because times are tough. Maybe it was I don't think it was a better time versus
mm.
now. I think it's just a different time, but you still
Yes,
use
correct.
creativity to get that, and that gave birth to the person who is now thinking about the culture and expression of Indonesia and how it shares to the world. You can't give up
Yeah.
on the advertising
No.
side.
As an artist, like some artists, if you see me as an artist, right? Oh, you can do fuck you want, you see. But me, because my first industry leg is in advertising, and I in love with it, like it or not, yeah, I'm in love with it until now. I'm 49 this month, by the way, and I'm still in love with it. And I don't, but I
And I'm
want
the
to
one who's
retire,
gray.
but oh, thank you. Man. Anyway, joke aside, I'm still have this. I still have the love of it. Love of doing the work. Love doing the layout. I love doing the concept. I love doing the deck. I love doing the shoot. It just can't. It. I cannot get rid of it.
You're
So if
losing your
if
artist fan base as you say more and more about this.
no lah, because everything has connection. You see,
Yeah.
that's why I'm just apa ya? There's no namanya. Okay. Refresh apa namanya? There's 30,000. Okay. Okay. So yeah, that's why. Yeah, I don't think I can retire from advertising at all. I think wherever I am, the basic or the knowledge that I have from the industry still in me. You know, the drive, the insight, the idea, the back in the days we do product design, we do packaging design, everything. It's still in me. So I don't think I can separate both being an artist and advertising. It, I become this monster of craziness of industry and art. You know, that's who I am, I
That's
guess.
good. I think that's the healthiest. That is the healthiest version of
Yeah.
you. Especially more in the latest in the last two generations. I would say even from
Mm-hmm.
I would say from um, yeah, I would say for the last 15 years at least,
Yeah.
to have a passion that's not just your work, advertising. It helps feed you. It keeps you sane. It keeps you going. It keeps feeding your soul.
Mm,
I don't doubt that that's happening. Or I guess all I'm saying is, uh, we sometimes get to the point, and this is the time right now where we have gotten to where we think to ourselves, we're, we're not going to get anything creative anymore. We sometimes get to that point.
uh,
We all have gotten to that point, and it
yeah.
seems like in Jakarta, from the few people that I've talked to, it seems like we've put the creativity aside a little bit, and I get
Mm,
it. There's practicality, there's pragmatism involved in
true.
that.
Mm,
But yeah, I just wanted to remind people are who, if they see this and remember the story at the beginning, that that's how you found your way into this, the thing that's
yeah.
driving your passion. That I'm hoping that the young generation of people who have faith in advertising, and there's getting less and less and less, less and less and less, that you just need that one spark and
Mm,
keep it going. That's the way to do it.
yeah.
How do you think the new
But for,
generation? Last question, then. How do you think the new
yeah.
generation are doing in this regard in
Mm,
advertising?
wow. I think there's a glimpse of the young people who still believe in creativity in terms of industry and how to get the joy out of them. To those who actually feel that it sucks your life away, don't. You know, have a border. What can you do if the job asks you more than you live, more than your life? You yourself need to have that border. Whether you take a break for a while, whether you do what I do your thing, put it out there because it's easier right now to put everything out there to your expression, you know, as a creative person. Just have a border and don't lose hope on the creative industry because I believe if tools can replace us, I said tools because there's a trend of AI now.
What's
Um,
AI?
AI is
Sorry,
Adobe
finish.
Illustration, Adobe Illustrator. Okay, AI now that is artificial intelligence, but remember, they get it from you. You drive them, you make them smarter. So that means you are still needed. Fuck it. Dude. Yeah.
Fuck it.
Yeah, fuck it.
The Punten.
Yo,
Thank you very
what's
much,
up?
my friend. Thank you very much for doing
Hey
this.
man,
Really appreciate it.
no worries.
I think this is going to be one of those podcasts when it goes up that it's like a roller coaster.
Like life. Like life.
There's that like life. You're right.
Mhm.
I think that this was really good. I've always wanted to do this. I didn't tell you the agenda of why I wanted to do this, but this was why I wanted to do
Mhm.
this. I
Mhm.
think there's a nice lesson in here if someone wants to see it, if someone wants to hear it, and hopefully it helps where Indonesia is going, my friend. It's a very
Yeah.
challenging time for everybody around the world, but in Jakarta, looking at how the market is being shaped, not just simply from an
Mhm.
employment scarcity point of view, but just from the kind of output that seems to be coming out in service of if the digital bullshit. I don't mean digital advertising bullshit. I mean the stuff that's just flooding the market, which is just nonsense,
Mhm.
nonsense, nonsense. I see it for 30 seconds, and I will never ever think about it again. Um, I hope someone can hope more than one person hopefully can take something out of it. And if clients are watching and agencies are watching
Mhm.
because you're interested in Ronnie in Seven Ideas, just understand that Indonesia is a big footprint on the globe in Southeast Asia,
Mhm.
but I don't think it has as much as it's not making as much as an impact as it should because you're thinking inwardly. You're only thinking about business right now, and it's not showing expression of good ideas. We're gonna leave it at that. Thank you very much,
Yeah, man.
buddy.
Oh,
Talk.
thank you. Thank you.
See you, mate.
Thank you,
Take
Z.
care.
I'll
Bye,
see you,
brother.
man. Bye. Peace.